A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you are all well. Students, in the previous tutorial, we have started a new chapter, the state government. And in that, we have studied about the Legislative Assembly, which is also known as Vidhan Sabha, and Legislative Council, which is also known as Vidhan Parishad. So now students, now we will continue the Vidhan Sabha's composition, presiding officers, its tenure and functions. So let's continue the chapter. Okay students, now we will study about the Vidhan Sabha. Now we will study its composition. The Vidhan Sabha or Legislative Assembly of a state can have at the most 500 members. So how many members are there in Legislative Assembly? 500 members. And you know Vidhan Sabha is also known as Legislative Assembly. The members are called MLAs. What the members of Vidhan Sabha called? MLAs, Member of Legislative Assemblies. The MLAs are directly elected by the people of the state. So only we are the people who do the voting, and we choose the ministers. So the people of Vidhan Sabha, they are elected by us only through the voting system. For the purpose of elections, the state is divided into units called assembly constituencies. What is assembly constituencies? In Hindi, I will tell you Chunav Kshetra. When there is any election, then what happen? Areas are divided. Yes, election areas are divided. From each area, the people they stand. Yes, and they belong to any party. So, assembly constituencies means Chunav Kshetra. The higher the population of the state, the larger is the number of constituencies in the state. If the state is large, then the areas of election will also be large. Each constituency elect one representative. So many candidates they stand from every constituencies from each party, but only one is selected. So while Uttar Pradesh, a population state, has 404 members in its assembly. So as you know, which is the most populous state? Uttar Pradesh. And how many members are there in its assembly? 404 members. In which what is there in the assembly? Like for example, chief minister, governors, and other ministers who work under the chief minister. Can you tell me the chief minister of UP? Yes, it is Yogi Adityanath. So every state is having its own chief minister, governor and other ministers who work under the chief ministers. Sikkim, which with a much lower population, has only 32. So Sikkim is the state which has only how many members in its assembly? 32. Now we will study the presiding officer. The members of the Vidhan Sabha elect from among themselves a speaker and a deputy speaker. So when what happens, a speaker and a deputy speaker is elected among the members of Vidhan Sabha. The speaker presides over the meeting of the house, maintains order within the house and takes votes on issues. So what is the function of the speaker? That it takes the meetings of the house, and if any discussion is there or any topic is there, then it takes vote also on any topic which has to be discussed. During the speaker's absence, his work is done by the deputy speaker. If suppose speaker is absent due to any problem or due to anything, then his work is done by deputy speaker. Now students, we will term the term. The Vidhan Sabha's normal term of office is 5 years, but it may be dissolved earlier. So for how many years the Vidhan Sabha is elected? For 5 years. But if any problem is there or Vidhan Sabha is not working properly, then what happen? It can be dissolved also. Under certain special conditions, its term can even be extended by the parliament, and the term of its office means the term of its year can also be extended by some conditions, and it is extended by the parliament, or which is called as central legislature. So what is the term of office of Vidhan Sabha? That is 5 years. So when a state government is elected of any state, it is elected for 5 years. Now we will study Vidhan Parishad, which is also known as Legislative Council. The Vidhan Parishad or Legislative Council does not exist in most of our states. The Vidhan Sabha of any state may decide to set up the Vidhan Parishad or to remove it. The decision is made known to the parliament, and the parliament passes the law needed to give effect to the decision. So, I told you earlier also that in most of the states only Vidhan Sabha is there, and in few states Vidhan Parishad is there. Whether Vidhan Parishad should be there in the state or not, that is only suggested by Vidhan Sabha. So if any decision is to be made that Vidhan Sabha should be there, then it is made known to the parliament, then parliament it passes the law, and Vidhan Parishad established in that state. Now we will study its composition. The members of the Vidhan Parishad are called MLCS. So what its members are called? MLCS means member of legislative councils. The number of members in the Vidhan Parishad cannot be more than 1/3 of the number of members in the state's Vidhan Sabha. So it should not be more than the members of Vidhan Sabha. Yes, like for example, less than 500. It should be less than 500. Unlike the MLAs, the MLCs are not elected directly by the people. They are indirectly elected in the following manner. Member of legislative assemblies, they are elected by the people through the voting system. But the members of legislative councils, they are not elected directly by the people. Means we do not elect the members of Vidhan Parishad. So how they are elected? That we will study. 1/3 of MLCs are elected by the MLAs of the state. So who elect 1/3? 1/3 of the members, they are elected by the MLAs. 1/3 are elected by the members of local government bodies such as municipalities and district boards. 1/3 of its member is elected by the government bodies. 1/12 are elected by university graduates living in the states. 1/12 are elected by teachers of secondary schools, colleges and universities. And last, the remaining 1/6 are nominated by the governor of the state from among distinguished artists, authors, social workers, etc. Means those people, those who are distinguished in their particular fields, that members are elected by the governor. So who now in short we will see who elects the members of Vidhan Parishad. MLAs of the states, local government bodies, university graduates, secondary schools, colleges and teachers of universities, and rest by governor. Now we will study the presiding officer. The members of the Vidhan Parishad elect a chairman and deputy chairman from among themselves. In MLAs, what they elect from among themselves? Speaker and deputy speaker. But in MLCs, means in member of legislative councils, what they elect among themselves? Chairman and deputy chairman. The chairman is the presiding officer of the house. In the chairman's absence, who presides the office? It is deputy chairman. Now we will study term. As we have studied that Vidhan Sabha is elected for 5 years, now we will study about Vidhan Parishad. The Vidhan Parishad cannot be dissolved. Means after 5 years Vidhan Sabha dissolves. Yes, it is another new government is elected. But it not happens in Vidhan Parishad. Vidhan Parishad never dissolves. Means no elections are taken regarding to this, regarding forming the Vidhan Parishad. Hence it is a permanent body. So we can say that it never dissolves. So it is a permanent body. But what happens? 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years. Every 2 years, one third of its member retire and again new members are nominated. So like this, the Vidhan Sabha goes on. Now we will study the power and functions of state legislature. The state legislature can make laws on 66 subjects given under the state list and 47 subjects given under concurrent list. Subjects I told you, like for example in the state list, what are the subjects? Like health and sanitation, primary schools, then construction of roads, and concurrent list like marriages. So, what are the subjects included in the concurrent list like education, trade and union, adoption, forest, marriages? You know, India is such a vast country and there are different fields. So, different fields are divided into three lists. First is union list, state list, and concurrent list. So, whatever the laws to be made regarding the subjects in the state list or in the concurrent list, it is done by state legislature. But if a state law on concurrent list goes against a central law, can be declared ineffective. It means that for example, a state makes a law related to marriage. Okay, so if central government it looks after that law is right or not. If that law is right, then it will be effective. Means that then it will be applicable on the state. But suppose if the law is not effective, it is ineffective, then it can be declared ineffective by the central government. So all these laws, they are looked after by the central government. The state legislature passes the money bills and the budget. Okay, what is the another function done by state legislature? Money bills and the budget. Money bills means it is refers to laws only, yes, and that laws are related to the borrowing and expenditure of the government, or laws which are related to spending of money, that how much money is spent by the government or how much money is borrowed by the government on what purpose, that are all included in the money bill. So it is a draft law is theirs. So the state legislature, it only passes the money bills and the budget. The state legislature passes those ordinances which were issued by the governor when the legislative assembly was not in session. So what the state legislature do? It passes ordinances. Ordinances, here you can say any command, any rule or any law. It is passed by the state legislature which are issued by the governor. If legislative assembly is absent, then it is done by the state legislature. Suppose any governor passed the law and if no legislative assembly is there, then state legislature it performs that function. Next is ratification of amendments made by the parliament pertaining to the powers of the state government. Ratification of amendment means to confirm something by vote. Yes. Ratification of amendment means suppose any matter is there, yes, and majority has to be taken that whether this decision is right or not. So that is called ratification of amendment, means to confirm something by vote. Yes, many people they go against that decision and many people they are in favor of that decision. So that is called ratification of amendments and it is done by the parliament. But the powers of state legislature are also included in that. The state legislature can ask questions and criticize the wrong policies of the state. Suppose any state government is not working properly, then the state legislature they have the right to ask any questions related to the wrong policies issued by any state and give suggestions. In this way, it puts a control over the executive. So executive, you know, it is the organ of the government. Yes, it enforces the law. Who makes the law? The legislature. Who enforces the law? It is executive. And what is judiciary? It checks that whether the people they are obeying the laws or not. So you have already studied the three organs of the government: legislative, legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature, it makes laws. Executive, it enforces the law, and judiciary, it checks whether the people, they are obeying the laws and rules or not. It can also move an adjournment motion called attention motion and no confidence motion. If suppose any state government is not working properly, then no confidence motion can also pass, which is also called as adjournment motion. What is that? That the state government will be dissolved. Majority of means votes will be taken that whether this state government will be in the state or not, means whether this government is capable in performing the functions well or not. So if no, then no confidence motion is passed, in which majority of the votes are there that yes, that this government should be dissolved. So that is called no confidence motion. Now students, we will study the passage of bills by state legislature, means how the bills are passed. Bills are proposals for new laws under consideration. Bills can be introduced either by a minister or a private member. An ordinary bill can be introduced in either of the House, Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad. So what are bills? These are the proposals for new laws, means new laws are framed, and this bill can be present in both the houses, in Vidhan Sabha also and in Vidhan Parishad. It can introduced by any minister also, or they can be introduced by a private member. So what are bills? Bills are proposals for new laws, means anything should, suppose anything is there or any field is there, and regarding to that new laws has to be framed, that are called as bills. The passage of a bill involves three stages. So three stages are there through which the bill it passes. First is readings. In the first reading, the bill is introduced. The member introducing the bill explains the need to introduce such a bill and gives an outline of it. So the members who is introducing the bill, he or she has to explain that what is the need of passing this bill. What is the requirement of this bill? So that has to be explained by the introducer. In the second reading, a general discussion is held on the bill in the House. Then a general discussion is held that the House may refer it to the select committee for expert opinion on its various clauses. Then a select committee is appointed by any House, and experts' opinion are taken that whatever these laws are, these whether they are good for means whether it should be applicable or non-applicable. So a special committee is appointed for this, in which experts are there who give their opinions related to the laws. Sometimes even the public opinion is sought. Sometimes public opinion is also taken. Once the bill comes back to the House, a clause by clause discussion take place. Amendments, if necessary, can be introduced in the second reading. Suppose anything has to be added in the law, that is done in the second reading itself. In the third reading, the bill is put to vote. If it is passed, it is signed by the speaker and sent to Vidhan Parishad. Suppose then if the bill is proper, then it is put to vote, and when it is passed, then it is signed by the speaker and sent to Vidhan Parishad. Vidhan Parishad means Legislative Council. In the Vidhan Parishad also, the bill passes through three readings. Now when it is sent to Vidhan Parishad, then also bill passes through three readings. If the Vidhan Parishad passes the bill, it is then sent to the governor for his consent. When suppose if the bill is passed by the Vidhan Parishad, then it is sent to the governor. The governor also checks the bill, means governor also checks the new laws. After the governor signs the bill, it becomes a law. Then ultimately when governor also checks, then that bill becomes a law, and that law becomes applicable. The assembly may pass the bill again if. Okay. The assembly may pass the bill again if, means the legislative assembly can also pass the bill, but there are some certain conditions. If it is rejected by the council, means if it is rejected by the legislative council, or a period of more than 3 months lapses without the bill being passed, means this bill is for 3 months. Yes, under 3 months it has to be passed. So if suppose 3 months are lapses means that it means that suppose 3 months are passed and it is not signed by the governor, it has not been sent to the legislative council, then the legislative assembly can pass that bill. Third, the bill is passed with amendments to which the assembly does not agree. In such a case, it becomes compulsory for the Vidhan Parishad to consider the bill within 30 days. Means suppose laws are there which Vidhan Sabha or as legislative assembly, it does not agree that it should be proper, means it is proper or not, then it is again passed to the Vidhan Parishad, and then Vidhan Parishad has to consider the bill within 30 days. If 30 days are passed by or the bill is rejected, it is considered as passed by both the houses and is sent to the governor for his consent. So if the bill is passed, then passed by both the houses, means both the houses pass the bill, means Vidhan Sabha also pass and Vidhan Parishad also pass, then it is sent to the governor. However, the governor can refuse to sign the bill and send it back to the legislature for reconsideration. Suppose the governor thinks no, the laws are not proper or the bill is not proper, again it's sent back to the legislatures. He can also send the bill to the president for his consideration. Suppose the governor want to take the consideration advice of the president, then he can also send this bill to the president. In that case, it can become a law only after the president's approval. So, if president approves the bill, then only it become a law. So, like this, the bill is passed. Like this, the new laws are formulated. It is not so that Vidhan Sabha makes the law and then it will be applicable. No, it has to be passed through many stages. Then only it is considered to be as passed, or it is considered to be as applicable for the people. So students, I hope you are able to understand the chapter. Read the chapter very properly because I know it is new for you, but I have tried my best to explain you. So read the chapter very carefully and watch the video too. Next topics we are going to cover in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.